Brother Michael Muhammad, what is the difference between New Year's resolution versus New Year revolution?
Well, Britt, I'm glad you asked me that question. It's very interesting. I saw an advertisement that was sent out by yourself and also a brother named Donnell Jones. Both of you who are absolutely dynamic personal trainers. And it was entitled something to the effect of New Year's Revolution. And it inspired something within me when I saw that. I said, wow, that's awesome, because most people make New Year's resolutions. Every year, people make New Year's resolutions. Every year, we say, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to get in shape, I'm going to get back in school, I'm going to stop smoking, I'm going to eat more healthily, and we make resolutions and we make goals that 30 days after we set the goal, 2 weeks after we set it, 2 months, 3 months after we set the goal, we're no longer trying to achieve the goal. We haven't met it, we haven't accomplished it, and after we make this New Year's resolution, it's like we forget. It's not that we didn't want to achieve the goal, it's not that we couldn't achieve the goal, but why is it that when we make these New Year's resolutions, we don't actually resolve to keep the promises that we made? And it was very interesting when I looked at it, because I started thinking about the fact of revolution and resolution. And I thought about the fact that the word revolution is a very natural process, while the word resolve is not as natural as revolve. Revolve implies motion, and the first law of the universe is motion. Resolve is actually implies to stop, to hang on to something, and to stop its motion. So why don't we actually keep our New Year's resolutions? We don't keep them because we don't place into motion a plan that we can actually use to make these things happen. When we revolve, check it out. Every 24 hours, the earth revolves on its axis and brings about total change. Every 365 days, the earth revolves around the sun, moving through 4 seasons, moving through 12 different zodiac signs, and it causes a change. A revolution, a complete change. We change from spring to summer to fall to winter, bringing about a complete change in every season. These are things that go into the process of revolution. When we make a resolution, we say, I'm going to stop eating, I'm going to stop smoking. But where's the plan? Where's the actual change? I'm going to stop smoking. Well, what are you going to change? How are you going to stop smoking? When are you going to stop? What's the plan? Who's going to help you? Who's going to aid you? Do you even have the necessary motivation to stop doing what you said you're going to stop doing? And if you're going to stop doing one thing, what are you going to replace? What are you going to do to replace the thing that you're going to stop? Because if the first law of the universe is motion, and you say you're going to stop smoking, what are you going to do to keep that motion going in the place of the smoking? See? You can't just stop something and not start doing something else. It doesn't work. You have to replace the bad with good. There's a duality in the universe, a dichotomy that says, and a law that says bodies in motion tend to stay in motion, right? That's the law of inertia. Bodies at rest tend to stay at rest. Well, I have to move. I can't just stop smoking. That's unrealistic. What am I going to replace the stop smoking with? Now, revolution versus resolution. What revolutionary change am I going to imply? Now, some people will say revolutionary, oh my God, here we're going to talk about something radical, something wild, something totally off the chain that I can't keep up with. It's going to be too hard. Well, it's not going to be too hard. The greatest revolutionaries in the world, one of the greatest revolutionaries, most of us claim and we say that we believe in him or we follow him, was Jesus Christ. He was a revolutionary. And most of us totally divorce ourselves from the revolutionary teachings that he made. Something very simple. If I am going to revolve rather than resolve, then one of the things that I need to do is to figure out how I am going to move forward. How am I going to continue to move forward? And how am I going to move forward in the right direction? If bodies at rest tend to stay at rest and bodies in motion tend to stay in motion, what direction is the motion that I want to go to? Now, most of us have no idea of how to control motion. Let's talk about motion. How do I control motion? How do I control myself, period? Well, what are the elements of control? If you want to control something, what do you have to have control over? What are the elements of control? The elements of control are the ability to stop, the ability to start, and the ability to change. That's what control is about. Can I start something in motion? Can I stop it? And can I change its direction? That is all control is about. Can I start? Can I stop? Can I change? If I can't start, stop, and change, I can't control anything. Therefore, any resolution that I try to begin will not work because I don't have control over myself or control over the elements that are necessary to start, stop, and change. Let's think about it. I'm going to stop smoking. Okay. Let's stop smoking. I put my cigarette down. I'm not going to smoke it again. Okay, you stopped smoking. For now. Now, an hour later, you start again. You don't have the power over start. You had the power to stop. You put it down. But now start. You didn't think about that. You pick the cigarette up, you start again. Change. What are you going to change? Because an hour from now, you're going to want that cigarette. An hour from now, you're still going to be at work. You're used to taking your coffee break. You're used to drinking your coffee, smoking your cigarette. You go to the same place. You go to your break room. You get your coffee. You get your cigarette. Your friends are about to go outside and smoke. You go outside with them, but you're not going to smoke. Come on. You're doing the same thing that you were doing before. You're not controlling change. So how you controlled start because you did not start. You didn't start again, right? You didn't pick up the cigarette, but you didn't control change, and therefore you can't control stop. You got it? You're not dealing with the elements of control. You have to be able to have the power over start, stop, and change. So you have to change. Anybody who has gone through any program to help you to stop an addiction, like Alcohol Anonymous, Narcotic Anonymous, you know that you have to, in order to change an addictive behavior, you have to change the people, the places, and the things. So when you go to that break room, you're going to the same place that you're used to going that starts the addictive behavior. You're going to be with the same people that you're used to smoking with that continues the addictive behavior. The people, the places, and elements of the same thing. You're picking up the coffee. You're touching the microwave. You're touching the seat. You're touching the table. And you're going to then reach in your pocket for what? The cigarettes. If you don't have a cigarette, what are you going to do? You're going to ask your friend who you smoke with, or your friend who you smoke with is going to hand you a cigarette. You've got to change your environment. You've got to change the people. So when you say you're going to stop something, Now you have to now invest. You have to now wrap your mind around a revolutionary idea. An idea that will cause complete change. Light and darkness, night and day, is a complete change. I can't just say I'm going to stop smoking cigarettes and then just say, okay, I'm going to stop smoking cigarettes by not buying a cigarette. No, that's not a revolutionary change. You resolve to stop buying cigarettes. That's just a simple change. That's a mediocre change. If you're going to stop smoking cigarettes, you have to marry revolution. What's up, brother? You have to marry the idea of a total and complete change, a revolutionary change, just like you have to change between night and day, just like you have to change between winter and summer, just like you have to change between spring and fall. You have to invest in, you have to grasp, and you have to place in your life a revolutionary idea. Most of us are scared of revolutionary ideas. That's where complete change comes from. That's where the ability to not only resolve to change, but to actually carry out that change, a complete change. You can't be scared of revolution. You've got to be a revolutionary. Jesus brought a revolutionary idea. He said, I am going to speak to a dead man, and this dead man is going to come to life. That's a revolutionary idea. That's a complete and total change. Don't you realize that stopping smoking, when you say, I'm going to no longer take this cigarette and put it to my mouth, put it to my lips and inhale death, I'm no longer going to inhale death, that's a revolutionary idea. Because to stop inhaling death, what then do you need to inhale? Come on, life. You can't stop inhaling death and then expect to gain life and gain life more abundantly unless you start to inhale life. So instead of inhaling the cigarette at your break time, what do you need to inhale? Life. You need to pick up a book. You need to put an audio tape in. You need to go take a walk. You need to do something that instead of bringing death to you, brings life. You have to not only imply, you have to institute a revolutionary idea and a revolutionary action that is the complete opposite of what you're used to doing. And until you're ready to do the complete opposite of what you were doing, your resolutions are never going to happen. You're never going to keep a resolution that you don't resolve to completely change what you were doing. You have to do the total opposite today of what you were doing yesterday. And if you don't study, if you don't listen, if you don't imply the exact opposite, then you'll never do it. So you need help. Because if you knew how to do the opposite, you'd already be doing it. You need somebody to help teach you the opposite. That's why Jesus said, cease to do wrong, learn to do right. You don't just stop doing wrong and then sustain that. You have to stop doing wrong, learn how to do right, and then implement the right in your life that you learned in the place of the wrong. That's the only way change is going to be sustainable. Now that we have the basic elements of control, the basic elements of change, and the basic elements of sustainability, tune in tomorrow and we'll go a little bit further on how to actually revolutionize your life so that you will be doing something totally different in 2012 than what you did 2011. If you want to lose weight, guess what you got to do? You got to totally change what you did last year and do something different this year. We'll be talking about that a little bit more tomorrow. So tune in, 6 a.m.